Hey people, this is a lighting tutorial because we see lighting together in the lesson, but there is no tutorial about it, so I am making a lighting tutorial, okay? So, yeah, lighting in Maya and in CGI in general, because it's always the same thing at the end. Uh, so this is the our shading lesson setup. Maya scene, and it's clean of the lights, so there is only the sphere and the back plane in the back. Okay, I removed the lighting folder, so we can start from scratch. So let's see how the render look like without lights. Let's take a look. And yeah, I'm using my own machine, but I think lighting wise, I think it should be kind of the same, so it should be okay. Uh, yeah, let's see how the render look like. Let's take a look. So it's rendering, you see the render tiles are running, but there is nothing. There is nothing. Why? Because there are no lights. Yeah, so lighting. There are two different lights in Maya. The Arnold lights that you can find in Arnold lights and these ones, and the Maya native lights that you can find on Create lights and these ones. So what is the difference? There is no difference essentially, but some of the lights that are available in Arnold uh, are not enough. There is one light in particular that is important for us, and we will use it as we go. It's the directional light. Arnold doesn't have a directional light. There is an area light, a skydome light, but no directional and no point light, I believe. Yeah, there is no point light. So let's check the main lights together, okay? I will create in an Arnold light, okay? So the Arnold lights that are important for us are the area light, the skydome light, and the others are, I mean, I don't use them very often, but the main ones for Arnold, for us for now, are area light and skydome light. So let's start with an area light, and let me go to the perspective view. I expand the perspective view here. So let's see. I put my area light like this. Hmm? Nice here from the light. See? And so the area light is essentially a square light, and where you see this line is the direction the light is pointing to. Okay? So the light is gonna illuminate from here to there. This is the direction. Not here, not from there. So this is the direction where the light is, you know. And it's basically one of those lights on the photographic studio. If you go, yeah, it's basically these ones. Um, the one that also, you know, Cleveland has. This kind of thing is an area light, okay? There are different shapes for different things, but that one is basically a square one, okay? So let's keep going. Let's see how it looks like now, the render, okay? Now it looks black. I refresh it and we can see something. Wait a second, I think I got a material going on here in the sphere. The sphere is not a Lambert, okay? Let's see. Yeah, so this is how the Lambert is looking like. And it's not so strong, isn't it? Let me just get something. Uh, if I can I think it's hmm I so I just wanted to get the Bah, anyway, so this is anyway the render we have with the area light, and it's we cannot see much because we can basically we can increase the strength. So if you select the area light, okay, and it's selected, uh, it's here. We have a bunch of attributes, okay? There is color, intensity, exposure, light shape. We can even do a cylinder, see, or a disc, okay? I'll keep it a square now. Let's play. So to regulate the strength of a light, basically in the Arnold tab, you have two parameters, intensity and exposure. So usually the intensity should stay at 1. If you want to increase the strength of this light, you need to crank the exposure, not the intensity. Keep the intensity at 1. I know it's confusing, but trust me. So let's put the exposure at 0.5. And I'm gonna save a snapshot to see the progress. So see, there is already, we have more lights going on. So let's save this, and let's get the exposure at 1. Let's see, maybe 3, a bit, yeah, 3 is cool. See, so this is what it's doing basically. And if I go out from my render camera shape and go to my perspective shape, we can definitely see better what's going on. Take a look. So we got that area light illuminating from the right to the left our sphere. See? So let's see if we can do other parameters. So the color is another one very important. You can choose a color. So let's get a warm color. Let me save a screen grab of our progress. And I choose, maybe, yeah, you see already, already refreshed, but let's see an orange color, see? You can have different effects for, different colors. And that depends by your shot. These area light are widely used in interiors. So if you have like an interior scene, you can use it and play with with what it's doing. See, it's a nice light and makes a nice soft shadow over there, and it's yeah, overall pretty. And also the lights, the effect of a light depends also by the material. This is like a Lambert, so it's very like matte. It's very kind of very flat kind of material. But if you have different materials that you can give more interest to your lighting as well. So I think that should be enough for the area light. I think there are a lot of parameters, but for now let's keep it simple. If you use it and adjust just this, the color and the exposure, that should be enough. So let's create a folder with the lights. I rename it light underscore grp. I bring it up and I hide this one for now. And I want to create another one. And I do this time a Maya light, okay? I do a create light, point light, and I move it here. Let's see the point light, okay? I save a snapshot. See, the point light is of Maya is, quite cheeky. Take a look. I don't quite like this shadow so much. It's very, very sharp. Let's see if there are some, some parameters we can play. So let's check the Arnold parameters first. So shadow density, no, shadow density is not good. Let's say shadows. Who's that much shadows? Let's see if I can play with the filter. No, this is not good. Anyway, let's keep, the point light like this. It casts a shadow that is quite lame. I don't really like it. I wanted to see if there was the a way to kind of soften the shadow, maybe with radius. Oh yeah, the radius. Yeah, nice. So you see, with the radius, using the point light, you can kind of, make a better looking shadow, because before was so shit. Take a look. This is so unreal, like this is not realistic at all. But see, with the radius on the point light under the Arnold tab, you see, because this is a Maya light. So in the Maya light, you need to, select it. Well, let's bring it inside our group. You select it, point light, and to play with the parameters, you need to go to the Arnold tab, okay? So there you can really have control over, the attributes. So leave these ones as they are, but play with these ones, okay? So let's add some exposure. Let's first save a snapshot. Okay, yeah, a snapshot, and then I do exposure 2 and see how it's, more strong from this side, and kind of similar to an area light if you want. No, the area light is this one, sorry. Yeah, well, it's kind of, I think the area light is much more, just on one direction, just where that arrow we were talking about before is pointing. But the point light is much more diffuse. It's like, yeah, it's like a small, tiny fairy light, something that illuminates all around, and can be nice if you you adjust the shadow and maybe find a nice color. So I'll save a snapshot and I maybe change the color. I put a nice kind of blue. Ooh, too strong. When it's too saturated, it's not nice. I think it should go a bit less. See, you can create a nice moody feeling to your scene by making this sort of, color for the light that is very bluish. See? So another light that is very important. So I hide this one for now, and this is a Maya light. I create lights, directional light, okay? And let's say the directional light. I rotate it and I move it here like this. Nice. And again, this is a Maya light. So when we mess with the, when we rather adjust the setting, you want to go to the Arnold tab, okay? Very important. So let's take a look, shall we? I've got this selected. This one is inside my folder. The others are hidden, and let's shoot a render. See? Bam! Basically the area light, sorry, the directional light is a very distant light. It kinda mimic the light of the sun that makes this kind of shadow, okay? And this is the direction we have, so you can see what it's doing. It's like a planet kind of thing. One thing though, I want to show you guys. See, again, we got a very, very lame shadow. This is looking very lame. I don't like it. This is not good. So you will see now here, doesn't look very nice to be honest, but we will see how this light is very useful for us later. And also this material is very flat, so it doesn't really make justice. But anyway, something you want to play with is the angle to fix the shadow, okay? So you set the angle to 5. Let's save first. And then let's set the angle to 5. And see, already starting doing something more interesting. See, it's much more smooth and nice. And again, here you can play with the settings. You can select maybe, some different colors. And and strength, and you will mimic the angle of the sun. You could rotate it crazy, and this will change the shadow accordingly to the position. So if it's like a sunset kind of thing, or dusk, it will be with very long shadow, isn't it? Something like this. So yeah, that's the story basically. And let's see another light. So far we check the area light, the point light, and the directional light. Now I want to go back to my render camera, and I want to use one of my favorite lights, probably is the sᴜჯbsᴄɪɪįᴇ light, because this one it's super nice, because allows you to create a whole big environment around your object and create some really nice and realistic lights. So when you want to create a sᴜჯbsᴄɪɪįᴇ light, in this case it's not anymore a Maya native light, it's an Arnold light. So you do Arnold light, sᴜჯbsᴄɪɪįᴇ light. I bring it in my group with the lights, but let's see what it does alone, like without touching it, with the default settings. I refresh it, and as you can see, it's a very flat lighting. There is not much going on here. It's very flat. But one thing that you need to do all the time when you use a sᴜჯbsᴄɪɪįᴇ light is to upload an HDRI, which stands for High Dynamic Range Image, and it's basically HDRI is basically a spherical image that gets wrapped around a dome, a sky dome, and we use it to create some CG lighting. And the lighting you will get, it's gonna be very realistic, way more than the others, because this one are just lights, but this one creates the lighting you will have in a realistic environment. So the lighting, the result you will have in the render is gonna be more realistic than just a point light, for example. So let's see. When you create it, you got in the attribute editor a few parameters, okay? And you don't need to find the Arnold parameters, because this is already an Arnold light. So right away you got the parameters correct for the light itself. These are already Arnold parameters, okay? So when you create one, you find something similar to this, and in the color you need to click on the checkerboard and do File, and you get this page, this kind of window. You select the folder and you go to the folder you're working on. In this case I got desktop shading lesson, I got source images, and I want to use this sunset pure sky that I like very much, and I'm gonna save because it's buggy sometimes, better not risk. And let's run a preview. See, the color is much nicer. You can already tell that something is going on. That is different. So we have some colors. It's not flat anymore like before. It was all gray. Unfortunately, I didn't take a snapshot, unfortunately. But we can keep going like this, okay? You can really tell that there is something on. There are some nice soft transition of colors, and it looks more interesting. So I want to do something. I want to create an Arnold material, AI standard surface, the usual. I'm gonna name it Chrome underscore SHD, and I go preset Chrome replace, and now I select this sphere, and I do right click on the Chrome, assign material to view per selection, and I want to this time take a screen grab and play. So see, all around the sphere. So now on the bottom is reflecting you know, the backdrop, the floor. But all in front there is a nice sky going on. What a story. So let me do something. Let me hide the backdrop because I don't want to see it. And I want as well to enable the 3D manipulation. And I want to launch the render. So see what's going on. Windows 3D manipulation. Oh. Sorry. 3D manipulation, this one. See what an HDRI is doing. It's creating all this beautiful sky all around the sphere, and the sphere is reflecting it. So you see, your object is gonna, you know, be, uh, you know, getting all the reflection of the HDRI around it, and this creates a really nice, realistic result in your render. So imagine you have a nice environment, an outdoor environment. This can really add a beautiful sky around it, and usually you don't mess up a lot with the parameters of the HDRI. To be honest, um, it's kind of good as it is, as long as you find the right image to plug. And we know HDRI even is the place we download the, you know, our HDRI. And I also have in our um, in the folder for our course, I've got in the drive the, you know, in the 3D modeling, I updated the folder, and on asset you got HDRI, and you can find a bunch here. Okay, but basically this is it for the lighting in Maya. Those are the lights that are probably gonna be most useful for you for, you know, creating the projects, and we can see others more, you know, in depth as we go, but so far this I think is gonna be enough. And yeah, that's the story. So I'll see you around, guys, and I hope this was helpful. Take it easy.